Hi, and welcome to Brent's Brainful broadcast. First, I would like to tell you the reasons why I started this. My objective as a person living with autism is to share some of my passions and my challenges in hopes to inspire others to pursue their hobbies and dreams. Today, I'm going to talk about chess. And I have a special guest and friend who is the former president of the FLCC Chess Club, Josh Bauer. Thank you for coming in, by the way. This has taken a long time to set up.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, Brent. I'm glad we got to this.
I know. You had the motorcycle accident, or not the accident, but motorcycle crash.
Yeah, well, let's see. I had a couple issues with my motorcycle, and then once I finally got a car, I had a couple issues with my car, so it took a while for me to get out here. But finally made it out, and I'm happy to be here.
That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about chess today.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so why don't we start and talk about how we met?
Yeah, well, let's see. If I remember correctly, the chess club was the first place we met, right?
Yes, I think it was spring semester of 2021.
Yeah. So I got to Finger Lakes Community College. At the time I got there was no chess club.
That is true. I realized that myself.
I was surprised for, it's a small college, but at the same time, there's a decent number of students. I was surprised there wasn't a chess club. And so I decided to revive one that was already there. And
they brought it back, you mean?
Yeah, I brought it back. I think it was, I forget the professor's name, but he was
Brian
a math. Yes, that's who it was.
He was my calc professor, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, I never had him for a class, but
he's funny. He's better than Tim Beeler.
He was a good club advisor, and I'm glad we got it working.
Yeah, I know.
We had a decent amount of participation, and I believe that's where I met you.
Yeah, and we did one or two tournaments too, I believe.
Yep, we did a couple tournaments. It's definitely fun.
Yep. Now let's talk about how each of us discovered chess and how it appealed to us. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Okay, so I remember that my mom originally taught me chess. I would have been like 8 or 9 probably when she taught me how to play. And she stopped playing with me when I started getting good enough to beat her, I suppose.
So you're a prodigy.
Yeah,
prodigy.
At the same time, high school is really when I started picking up and playing it pretty well.
Yeah, that's around the time I started playing too. I followed my brother. He was actually the one who started before me, and he's younger than me. I went to the library with him once because that's where he was playing, and then I learned how to play there. And then I played some games with my dad. Then I remember in high school I went back to the library at the same place to get more lessons. And then the rest is history, I guess. I picked it up more towards the COVID.
So how long have you been playing before you got to FLCC?
I would say regularly 2 years, probably.
Okay. And why did you initially get drawn to it?
That's a hard question. Let me think about it. I think it was because I had nothing to do during the COVID other than watching YouTube videos.
I gotta say that's actually a very good reason. So I learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube because I got suspended in high school and I had absolutely nothing to do. So it's not a bad reason to learn how to learn a new skill.
You don't have to tell me what that was.
I won't tell you what it's about. It's okay.
But you can tell me how you found the Rubik's Cube or something.
Well, I don't remember, so let's move on.
Okay. Let's discuss the importance of each chess piece and what they mean. So, in my opinion, I think I'm a knight because I jump all over the place. And this little guy is the only piece that can jump over other pieces.
Okay, yeah, so we're discussing which piece we think best represents ourselves, basically.
Correct.
I would have to say probably a rook, and I can't really articulate all the reasons why that is, but the rook is definitely my favorite piece. I think the queen is just a little bit too much power, and I think sometimes it's more than you need, and sometimes it becomes a liability.
And also it's hard to know what to do with the queen because it has a lot of movement opportunities.
Yeah, and it's more of a target. So, you get your queen out there too soon, and it just gets chased around the board, and now you can't do anything else. So it's not a good, it's a good piece, but it's not always the one that you want to go right out of the gate using.
I was going to save this for later, but since we're on the topic of the queen, remember how you pinned my queen and I thought it was the rook that was in trouble because the rooks are stuck in the corner with the knight and the bishop?
I think I do, and yeah, that probably ended up with one of your pieces not faring so well, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That was really frustrating for me. Okay. So, next question. How would we compare chess to a business hierarchy?
Well, what do you think?
I think it works like different levels. Like, there's more people down at the forefront, like the pawns, you have more pawns, and you have less king. You only have one king and queen, so the head managers are only like one on top of things, and the middle guys you have two.
So like inside of a company, like a company structure with hierarchy.
Yeah.
Is that basically what? Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that chess has a lot of relevance to business too. I think that if you don't know how to play chess, learning how to play chess would definitely give you. I don't want to oversell it, but it definitely gives you some critical thinking skills that are relevant to all sorts of business and just life in general. So, for example, foresight and thinking about what your next moves are going to be after you make a certain move instead of just thinking one move at a time. It kind of gets your brain thinking, what are the consequences of the actions that I make?
And advantages too.
Yeah, and what are the strategies that you can use to?
So how is chess a metaphor for life? So what I think it is that it's kind of like telling us, like kind of building off what you said, it kind of prepares you to think more logically and outside the box. Like when I did a business marketing presentation, I thought about, we had to do a smart product. I'll just keep this brief. And we did a doggy door, but then I realized, what happens if two dogs try to go into the door simultaneously from different ends?
Yeah, no, chess can have definitely thinking outside of the box is an important part of it. At the same time, there are defined rules, which is also helpful. So it teaches you a lesson in how to stay within the rules, but still be as creative as you can within the rules, which is also important.
Speaking of rules, we're going to talk about some of the history of it right now and
Okay.
how it evolved. So I do apologize in advance if I mispronounce anything or don't say it right. So, some precursors to chess, it originated in India. You probably knew that, right?
Yep.
The earliest form of chess was in the 7th century, and it was known as Sanskrit, which it translates to the 4 divisions of the military: infantry, cavalry, infantry, and the chariotry. And these forms of chess are actually some of the pieces which would evolve into modern chess. Infantry, the pawn. Cavalry, I would assume, would be the knight. Elephantry, the bishop. And the chariotry is the rook.
Now, this is something that I've heard. I don't know if you've heard this too, and I don't even know if it's true, but I heard that chess was originally invented as a way to prevent different armies from having to go to war with each other, and that basically the kings would just sit down and play a game of chess, and that would decide the outcome of the war. Have you heard anything like that?
I think I actually did in history. That was how they resolved an argument, or just how they would decide, or sometimes if it negotiate with them, how they would.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting that that's how it was invented.
Yeah.
And I have definitely made bets over a game of chess, so I would say it actually works.
What if it's a stalemate?
You got to decide beforehand. Maybe probably a redo.
Oh, yeah. So, chess spread directly from the Middle East to Russia by the year 1000, and it spread all throughout of Europe, the whole entire continent. Maybe not the whole continent, but most of it.
Most of it. Maybe not Ireland or Iceland. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say Ireland. Ireland's probably fine, but Iceland's pretty far out there.
It is. So afterwards, it spread throughout the world, and many variants of the game soon began taking shape. Like Buddhist pilgrims, Silk Road traders, and others carried it to the Far East. Is the East like the United States, or what is that?
It depends on where in the world you are. East would be like China, Japan.
Oh, okay. So
compared
like
to
Asia.
Europe.
Got it.
Yeah.
And the first recorded chess tournament took place in 1575 in Spain. You think we should have done an international tournament if we had the money at FLC?
That would have been interesting, but the problem is we would have all gotten beaten pretty badly. So I don't think that would have worked out very well.
For sure. Competitive chess became visible in 1834. All right, so next section is the shape of the pieces. Pieces which did not represent anything specific in Islamic countries changed shape in Christian cultures. Carved images of men and animals reappeared. Like, think about the knight with the horse. Knight. Yep. So by the 12th century, the pieces of the chess set were depicted as kings, queens. Do you want to do the next piece? Bishops.
And by the way, these pieces are not really great representations of the shapes we're talking about, because this is my own 3D printed set of alien chess pieces, which is probably not a great representation.
If you want to see
but
real
I know
chess pieces.
I know that like bishops, for example, obviously comes out of, I don't know exactly which religion, if Christian or Catholicism or what it is, but it's definitely a religious origin. So that's when the pieces probably changed shape.
Well, that's cool. Can we go back up a little bit? The knights, which is, you could kind of tell this is a knight because it kind of got the curved shape, and the men of arms, which we think might be a totally forgotten piece, but we think it might be the pawns.
Interesting. So you think there might have been a piece other than what chess has today that was never included?
Yes, that's what I looked up online, but we couldn't figure out what it was when Jim and I did it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
All right. I'll send you details later. All right. Famous. Now we're going to talk about some famous chess players. The first modern chess tournament was held in London in 1851, and it was won surprisingly by German Adolf Anderssen, who was relatively unknown at the time, but then he became famous later on. Anderssen was hailed as the leading chess master, and his brilliant, energetic attacking style became typical for the time being. Have you heard of him?
I have not, no.
No, I haven't.
He's a little older. I haven't heard of him.
Well, he is from the 19th century, mid-19th century, so that kind of makes sense. So, next guy is Bobby Fischer. And that guy I've heard of.
I've heard of him as well, yeah.
Because he's the first and only American world chess champion in history. Many considered him to be among the greatest chess players of all time. Fischer sparked an entire generation of chess players, especially in the United States and Iceland.
Oh, wow, so I was wrong about Iceland.
Yep!
Look at that.
Screw Iceland. His success against the Russian chess empire of the 1960s and 70s remains as one of the most incredible individual performances by any chess player. One of his most famous quotes was, "Chess demands total concentration." What do you think about that?
I don't know. Chess maybe demands it if you're like at a competitive level in a tournament, but I have definitely seen all sorts of people that are just playing with headphones on and multitasking, and they seem to do pretty well. I remember one time I was playing against two different people at the same time, and I beat both of them. So I guess
two different chessboards
at the same time. Yeah.
Got it.
So I guess it depends, how good the person across from you is. If they're a competitive match, then it definitely requires your full attention, I would say.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's no way I could do that. At Goodwill, I struggle with dealing with multiple customers at once.
Yeah, it's challenging.
I know. So Grandmaster Garry Kasparov is the 13th world champion. You've heard of him?
I have, yes.
And held the title from 1985 to 2000. Kasparov dominated the chess world for over 20 years. And then, interestingly, by 1985, Kasparov defeated Karpov. Ironically, they had similar names. And he became the youngest world champion ever at the age of 22. Wait, you're 22, right?
I am, yes.
Oh, well, why are you the world champion?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm just not smart enough for that.
Okay. He defended the world championship title against Karpov on 3 consecutive occasions. 1986, 1987, and 1990. And then eventually in the year 2000, Kramnik defeated Kasparov, ending the reign of the best players of all time as the world champion. Have you heard of that guy?
I haven't. He must not have been in the game very long.
I don't know. I think he was really vague as what I looked up during my research. Okay. And then finally, this guy's probably my favorite one because Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen, he was ranked the number 1 ranked player since 2011, so he's more recent.
I wonder how old he was. I'm not actually sure, but I think he was pretty young. Do you know, Brent?
No, I didn't get into my research. I'm assuming probably around our age, though. I'm 25 and you're 22.
Yeah, well, I think he was even younger. I could be mistaken. It might be someone else, but I know I've seen a lot of videos, and they're all over the internet, of this famous player, and it had to be, I'm pretty sure it was him, and he was playing another player who's much, much, much older, and this little kid would, like, get up and because he was bored, of the game and the other guy was taking too long, he would like get up and take a lap around the room and come back.
And you
then
think
make
you're
his
talking
move.
about the same guy
I believe
we
it's
were just
Magnus
talking about?
Carlsen. Yeah. I think
Okay, so I will add this into the description if I find it later on in the podcast, how old he was and what is any other information I missed in the podcast.
Yeah, I just think it was very interesting. I believe it was him, someone very young. That's always the thing that catches me on the internet is this kid who's very,
a child
very good.
prodigy, like we said earlier. So he did not believe that he earned the number one spot on the list. And according to an interview in January of 2020, pre-COVID, he believed Kasparov, that other guy we'd mentioned, is the best player. Now, interestingly, he is the only player to hold the world championship in all time controls at the time. Standard, rapid, blitz, and then there's another one called bullet, but it may have not been that popular back then. He held all three simultaneously until 2019. Did you know that? Or
I did not. No, I knew he won a lot of stuff, but I didn't know exactly what.
Nope.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about chess times next. So do you have a clock with you? Or
I
not?
don't have a clock. Usually I don't like them, and the reason is they don't really, unless your opponent is very, very, very slow, which in my case doesn't happen very often, the clocks just rush you unnecessarily, I feel like. It doesn't allow you to have a proper game. In fact, we were playing not too long ago, and we both were playing on the internet, right? And we had a choice of choosing time. We were like, we don't want the clock because
we did do the clock at first
on accident. On accident.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
And then when we had a chance to fix it, we were like, we don't want
Screw
the clock.
it. Let's not do it anymore.
I think it rushes you and it forces you to
make
moves that you otherwise might not. So it doesn't really.
You get timed out after a certain time.
Yeah, it doesn't allow the natural course of the game to take place.
Exactly. I mean, there is touch move, but that's a little different.
Yeah.
We'll talk about touch move in a minute. In 1861, the first time limits using sunglasses were employed in a tournament match in Bristol, England. Hey, England uses chess too.
Oh yeah, well by now everywhere plays chess. Yeah,
maybe not Latin America
and Antarctica. Maybe.
True. The times used for chess are standard, rapid fire, blitz, and bullet. I will take the standard and rapid fire, and you can take the blitz and bullet one.
Sure.
So standard is probably the most well-known one. It is the slow-paced one.
30 minutes, right? 30 minutes each player?
Well, what I looked up, it says at least 60 minutes, but maybe it could be 30 minutes.
I don't know.
Basically in this category, each player thinks at a time, or at least 60 minutes. So another method, which we sometimes do when we play chess, is have a fixed element, like an interval, to add increasement of time per move.
Yes, yeah. So for every move that you make, you automatically get time added to your clock, whether it's 1 second or 2 seconds or whatnot. And that basically just incentivizes you to move faster because it actually gives you more time even than what you might have started with.
Correct, because you would run out of time eventually if they didn't give you that extra time per move.
And in playing online, I have actually played against people that were so slow that by the time the game was over, they lost on time, and I had actually more time than I started with just because I moved a lot quicker. So, and actually,
did you double your time?
No, not double, but definitely had more. And then I've also lost on time plenty of times, which is one of the reasons that I kind of dislike it.
I have too.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is rapid play. It is defined as being a game where players' thinking time is more than 10 minutes but less than 60. So that's kind of like the neutral area.
Okay.
Some tournaments now have games where the players have 25 minutes each to start with an increment of, say, 5 seconds or more. And they don't go usually behind an hour, but usually regular chess tournaments go way longer than that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're thinking. So you want to talk about blitz and bullet? You don't
I don't know what the blitz time is, but for bullet, I know for sure that it's very quick. I believe it's 1 minute for bullet. 3 minutes. I guess blitz is 3 to 10. Bullet is under 3. I have seen a lot of bullet games that are a minute, which is very, very quick. And it's basically just just a challenge to see who can make as many mistakes as possible. Because
so by a minute, do you mean a minute per both sides or a minute
for each side? Yeah, so
okay.
2 minutes total. Yeah,
got it.
maybe there are bullet games that are a little bit longer than that, but those are the most popular ones that I have seen.
Yeah, those are like go after yourself.
And they're just they're crazy. Like none of the moves make sense. You're just moving. The only thing you care about is whether or not your move is legal because you don't want to run out of time. So
correct.
For people that are very, very smart, it might make sense. But for an average person, it's just can you make a legal move that doesn't put your king in check? That's really the only thing you even have time to think about.
Then the smarter people are gonna accidentally touch the wrong piece or something.
Yeah, if it's a touch, you have to move it type thing.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, so now we're going to talk about some chess strategies and talk about the basic rules of chess and how to set up the board. This is where we are going to show the chessboard. So the first piece is the pawn. The pawn is probably the weakest piece on the board. Do you have anything to add to that?
The pawn, in some cases, can be very strong if you're in the end game. Also, as I said, these pieces might be a little hard to recognize, but this is a king over here, this is a king over here.
And one thing that we should mention now is that the queen goes on its own color, and that does matter because then it messes up castling.
That's an interesting point because I'm sure a lot of people watching this already know how to play chess. I would assume some people might not know, but they want to learn how to play. But for a lot of people that do know how to play chess, even I have seen with a lot of opponents that I face, there's a confusion as to where the king and queen go, and they don't remember. The easy way to remember is that the queen always goes on her color. So if you have a darker set, then your dark queen is going to go on the dark square.
Wait, is this the dark piece? I think we might have swapped them.
Yeah, we actually got it wrong.
So we're going to swap them right now, point. Actually. That's why I caught it.
Yep, and the kings should always be across from each other.
That is correct.
Yep.
Same thing with the queen. So anyway, the pawn, we're going to show you how to move the pawn real quick. It is one of the more difficult pieces. The other piece we'll get to in a second.
Sure.
So the pawn piece goes either one forward on its first move, or you can pass up two for its first move only.
Yep.
After that, you have to keep going forward. But then you might realize something. Pawns can't capture, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah, they can't capture going straight. They have
so
to
what
capture
happens if this happens?
Nothing. Well, if these are the only two pieces on a board, theoretically, obviously the kings are always going to be on the board. But unless the king can take out one of them, they're stuck there. They can't move.
Exactly. So now we're going to talk about some opening moves. Now, originally I was going to do London's defense, but I don't remember how to do that. So we're just going to skip over that one, and I'm going to do the queen's gambit. So basically, you start with the queen's pawn. Then this guy would also do the queen, and then you do the king. And then as far as I can remember, I think the guy on this end.
I gotta interrupt you. I gotta say this would be a problem because if you just move that, I would take him out. Now, if you had done it instead with this one over here, he's guarded by the bishop. Or no, he's not guarded by the bishop. Which one would you do? I definitely know this move right here. He would be dead. So
maybe I did it reverse.
Have you actually seen the TV show The Queen's Gambit?
Yes, I have.
I have too. A couple of years ago, it was very good. I watched the entire thing.
I did too. And she also did took on multiple people at once at one.
I think so. Yeah, a whole entire room of people. I think.
Yep.
Like 25 different people. I think they're all very good too.
Yep.
Yeah, and she beat everyone if I remember right.
Correct.
Yeah, that was impressive.
So now we're going to talk about capturing and point values. So capturing, how it works is you go up to someone, like if we take this knight, for example, and then who do you want to use on your end?
I will sacrifice a pawn so I have minimal damages.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what you do is you jump over with this guy because he's the only one who can jump, and then take.
Yeah, and this is a difference from checkers is you have to land on a square where the piece already was in order for you to take them.
There's a slight exception for en passant, which we'll get to.
Yep, that's an exception. You're right.
And basically, the point values, the pawns are worth 1 point. The knights and bishops are both tied for 3 points, so they can vary a little bit. Rooks are more major, worth 5. Queens are worth 9. And then kings are worth infinite. But we did have a discussion that said if the king actually did have point value, it would be 3 or 4 points.
I forgot. Is that what we agreed on? I forgot what we agreed on. Was it 3 or 4?
4.
4. Yeah, it makes sense because it can move a total of 8 squares.
Yep.
But it can only move one at a time.
Correct.
Yep. But if you think about a bishop, in a lot of cases, that can't even move much farther than
Correct.
8 squares, especially if it's in a corner. So
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the pawns can only move forward until they get to the end.
yeah. Have you ever played 4-player chess?
I did once. It was too complicated for me.
Yeah, it's very fun. Extremely. I made a chessboard out of like wood and cardboard and all that 4-player chessboard. It was really fun.
Oh, you'll have to show me that sometime.
We should play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good idea. And then we'll need 2 other
Got to
players.
find 2 other people.
Or
That's the challenge.
CPUs.
This is an invitation to anybody out there on the internet that wants to play 4-player chess with us.
Yeah, just let us know in the comments. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to win the game. So, chess is divided up into 3 phases. The opening, which we just talked about, the middle game, which is the hardest part, and then the end game where you capture the king.
The end game is very interesting, and it's actually where I like to play. I feel like it's where I actually do a little bit better because there's not as much to focus on.
I struggle at the middle game.
Me too. The middle game is definitely the most complicated.
We're going to skip
Yeah.
talking about the middle game just because we would be here for hours. But we're going to talk about the end game
Good idea.
now.
Good idea.
So what we'll do first is we'll show what a check looks like. I'll do it with the rook because that is powerful enough.
Let's move a couple of these out of the way.
Okay.
And, well, unfortunately for you, I guess we'll have my pieces checking you.
Okay.
All right, there you go. You have your queen.
Okay, so check. So now I have to respond to that. There are 3 ways I can do this.
Yeah, okay, if we're going to discuss all 3 ways, let me move this guy over here
Okay.
and move this guy here because now you have a take, a block, and a
Okay.
runaway.
So the first way to do it, the easiest way, is just to get the hell out of there.
Yep.
And then just move them right here.
Yep. So you ran away with your king.
Yep.
A little bit cowardly, but you got to do what you got to do. And now,
Correct.
now
But
you're no
you can
longer
put
in
me in
check.
check again.
Yes. Yes, that's true. So what are your other options then?
In my opinion, the best option, well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
First is a
Do a
block.
second.
You could block like this.
Which is also a good
Which is
option.
good because if she takes me, I'm going to take you back with more point value.
Yep. You
But
just got to
one
make
thing-
sure I don't have somebody backing up the square. That's all.
Oh, and also, knights can't be blocked anyway. If the knight
Correct.
tries to capture.
They can jump over. Yep.
Correct. And the final way to do it is to capture, which is my favorite one because you just get an extra guy.
But of course, you have to actually be able to do any of those 3 moves. It's not automatic. You can do any 3. You have to have your pieces set up properly, which is the trick of the game.
Correct. And what happens if you can't do any of them?
Checkmate.
Correct. Checkmate is when I can't do anything at all. So let's say...
And you're in check.
Correct. And you're in check.
If you can't do anything at all, but you're not at check, that's a stalemate.
Correct. So right here, I think I could still do something. But if we... Is that a king or a queen?
That's a queen.
So-
Yeah.
No,
Oh, wait, sorry. It's a king. It's a king.
All right, let's take the queen out right here.
Yep.
And let's take a rook, because usually a rook and a queen are infected. I think I did it right. What do you think?
Yes, you are.
No, I didn't.
No. Well, actually, this wouldn't be impossible because both of these people are checking him. So they're like, you'd have to check and then something else happen without you getting out of check and then for him to move here with his rook.
Correct.
So but that's illegal. So maybe like a smother mate situation in which you can't move. I don't know. That's good questions. Let's take a knight.
Knights are easier.
Block this off with a knight. There
Because
you go.
knights
So the
can't-
king. Yeah.
Because knights you can't even block.
Yep. So the
That's
king
easier.
is in check. The
Yep.
king can't move anywhere because it's still in check here by the queen, still in check here by the knight, and nothing can block the queen. So that, oh, well, technically you could do this, but let's pretend that piece doesn't exist. You're in checkmate.
Correct. And what do you do when the king is in check? You knock him over.
Unless it's glass on a glass board, please do not do that. Cause
Just
I
move
have
the
plenty
piece
of
off the
chips-
board. Just
plenty
move
of
the
chips
piece
in my
off the
glass
board.
chessboard from people slamming the.
Correct.
King
So
down.
one thing I forgot to mention about check is that I like using it as a stall. Just stall the king.
Yes, yeah, and chase him. But there is a problem with that sometimes. You want to make sure you don't chase the king into safety. Because if you can save a check for when you have a very good follow-up move, you don't want to waste the check if you don't have a good follow-up move. Because you might just be chasing him back into his own little pocket of
Good
pieces.
to
And
know, because sometimes I do the bishop check towards the early on in the game. They'll just move a pawn.
yep,
And then-
that's another example. There are some cases where you put them in check, and they develop a piece in order to block the check, and now they have one more piece out in the middle of the board,
Correct.
which disadvantages you. So
Correct.
check is not always the best move.
Correct. So first, we're going to talk about a couple of special moves that kind of break the rules of chess. The first one is en passant. My favorite move that I discovered when I was looking on the internet, and then I just found it.
En passant is interesting. I remember you called me one time, and I think you were trying to figure it out. Like you were saying when you first discovered it, you were asking me a lot of questions about it. And I didn't even know the answer to all of those because it's hard to remember unless you're actually looking at a board. But
Correct.
You remember how to do it, right?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead and show us.
Well, you're going to have to help me too. So we'll
Sure.
put him up here, right? For right now. Now, let's say I move this pawn one. Now move yours up one again because I need two.
Yep.
And then I move it up two.
Yep.
Now what do you do?
Now, if I didn't know this move, I would think the only thing I can do is move forward because, but typically you can take people if they are here diagonally like that. So if he's here, I can take him. But because you're here, because he just moved out 2 spaces, and he is on this row that is exactly 2 spaces past his initial row, I can actually take him by doing that. Now, it has to be immediately after he moves it 2 spaces. So if he does this and I move something else,
you lose your turn and I can keep going.
And I do something else like that, and he does something else, it's too late. I can't do it anymore because it's not immediately after.
And it doesn't matter if I do nothing with that pawn. You can't do it anyway.
And then on the same hand, if he moves it one and then moves it another, it doesn't count.
That doesn't count because I didn't pass you on the first turn.
So it's very restricted.
It's very hard to explain. So I think we did a good
it's
job.
Very hard to explain.
So I guess the next one we're going to talk, we're not going to show promotion, but we're going to briefly talk about it. So when your pawn gets to the end of the board, they get promoted, and it's usually a queen, right?
Usually people go for a queen, yes. I actually, if it's in the end game and I'm already ahead enough to where I feel comfortable, I'll just get a rook. So I don't have to worry about stalemating on a diagonal because I've done that. And
okay.
It's one more thing you don't have to worry about. I'm very fluent with rooks. I can checkmate with a rook and a king.
Which is known as an under promotion.
Yes, under promotion because you're not promoting as much as you could.
Correct. Like bishop, don't even worry about. And knight, just do it if you get in checkmate.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about castling, so we'll need to clear most of the outer pieces first.
Yep.
Let's just get these guys out of the way. We'll keep the pawns in the way. So there are 2 different types of castling.
King side and queen side.
So king side, if it's easier for you guys to remember, he's passing over where his side is. Queen side is where he's passing over where the queen is.
Yep.
And this is known as short castling, where more commonly used. You move it over 2, and then the guy hops over 1.
Correct.
But for queen side, you move it over 2, and the guy hops over 2, actually.
Yeah, and this is another thing that some people don't remember frequently is how to castle, and it's easy to remember. The king just always moves 2 spaces over, whether it's left or right, and then the rook hops onto the other side of him on the adjacent square next to him. So that's how you remember how to castle.
And one more thing is that you can't castle if it involves a check.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of little nuances there. You can't castle if you've ever moved your king before in that game. You can't. Not only can you not castle if it puts you into check, but you cannot castle
through check
through a square that is targeted by an opponent piece.
And obviously you can't castle if someone threatens you with the check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's true. If somebody checks you, you cannot castle immediately after.
Because then you're blocking and repositioning at the same time, so you're doing 2 moves in one.
Yeah, I don't know why it is, but it's kind of annoying too because a lot of times,
my dad tried to do that once. I actually won.
Yeah, people try to do what they can get away with.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about some variations of chess, like checkers. Like that's just.
I have to disagree with you on that. Checkers is definitely not a variation of chess, but it is maybe more popular actually, and definitely a lot more people know how to play it.
I don't even think I should have put chess for noobs in parentheses. It is a lot different game.
Yeah, I mean it's very similar, but it's just so. I don't want to say anything bad about checkers, so I won't say anything else.
We won't say anything else. Okay, so shogi is a game that I found through my Nintendo Switch called Nintendo Clubhouse 51 Classics. I don't know if you heard of that game.
I have not.
They had shogi in it. It's like Japanese chess.
Do you remember Nigel?
Who?
Okay, you don't. There's this guy in college. I actually kind of miss him. I doubt he'll be watching this, but his name was Nigel, and he showed me a video game that was very similar to chess, It was nothing like chess, but the strategy of it was very similar. You have pieces, and they back each other up. And I don't remember. Unfortunately, I don't remember.
Was he African American? Maybe I remember him.
What?
Was he African American?
Yes.
Okay, I remember him.
Okay.
And Nigel, if you're watching this,
that was definitely an interesting game, and I'm very glad you taught me how to play that.
Okay, so finally, we're going to talk about Chess 960. Basically, it's kind of like a randomly generated chess.
Like the board is randomly or like what do you mean?
The pieces are randomly generated.
So they like spawn on random spots
yes,
on the board?
Yes, the pawns are always in the front.
I gotta say, that sounds interesting. Also, I think it was Anthony or Julian or someone from college, I don't know if you remember them, but they taught me about this game called Pawn Wars. It was a variation of chess with only pawns. And I don't remember exactly how to play it, but it's interesting. You know, once you play chess for a little while, you start to I don't get bored with it, but some people do, and they make up these interesting variations of it.
So is it just with pawns? Or
just pawns.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How do you get the back pawns?
I think, if I remember right, that whoever gets either the first pawn to the other side or the most pawns to the other side wins or something like that.
Okay,
I don't
that's
remember.
cool.
Yeah.
So next we're going to switch gears, really do a 180 and do a chess in... Actually, let's do that right now. Because I said 180.
Oh, so now I'm missing all the pieces.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. So we're going to talk about chess in popular culture.
I got to say, there have been some times where I've started without my queen to make the game more fair. So.
Oh, okay. So chess in popular culture, like we talked about earlier about the Queen's Gambit and how she became the world champion. So let's talk about Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
I remember they had chess within it. It's like the Queen of Hearts or something.
This was a movie, right? I never.
It was, and I think it was there was a book based off it too.
Never seen it. Was it good?
It was okay. I'll say that.
And there was chess involved?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yep. So it came out in 1951, and the novel, which I talked about earlier, it unfolds like a great strategy, each chapter representing a move on the board. Carroll's use of chess as a narrative structure adds a layer of complexity to the story. It also invites the readers to consider the broader implications of choices we make in our own life games. So I guess you are the chess player in this?
You know, that reminds me of our giant board we used to play with.
Those
giant chess pieces. Yeah, that was fun.
I know.
And you can stand on those.
Oh, I saw one at my Friendship Connection social group.
Yeah.
They had one near the Pittsford Library.
The town I grew up in, Waterloo, had one outside their library, and that was the first place I ever saw one.
Nice. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about some alternate chessboards with other characters, like the Civil War, which I found online. There was a Mario board that I used to own.
Civil War, like American Civil War?
Yes, okay, the American Civil War is what I'm talking about. And then there's even an Animal Crossing one that I came across. And of course, Harry Potter. And if you would like to play chess online, here are some. We recommend Chess Online app and the one you use.
Yeah, I like Lichess. I also have this Chrome extension that makes it look a lot less clunky. Lichess, I just find it's better than chess.com, but that's my personal opinion.
All right, we saved the secret section for you, chess jokes.
Yes, and I will say, if I have heard any of these, it was a long time ago, so if I'm laughing, it's probably not faked.
Good. All right, I'll take the first one. What did the chess player do when the big tournament was stressing him out? He took the night off. I think you forgot that one, did you?
No, I don't remember that. Oh, so I'm reading these to you as well, right?
Sure, you can do the next one.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna read the punchline before I actually read the joke.
Okay.
Okay, I get it. What did the Australian chess player say to the server at the restaurant?
Checkmate? Sorry, I saw
cheating. You weren't looking at it. That's so cheating. Okay.
Oh, we skipped one, or do you not want to do
Okay,
that
to the producer, what you have to do is hide it. So, well, actually, no, you can't, because then I can't see it. We have no options here. Okay, why don't you just read them to me?
Why didn't a chess player offer a draw? Because he wasn't a good artist.
Okay, I get that.
Why did the chess player bring pencils and a pad of paper to a tournament? If it were Jeffy, that'd be funny.
I mean, I don't know the punchline. I would say to jot down the moves, but
in case there was a draw.
Okay. Kind of a duplicate from the last one, but that works.
Okay, why wouldn't the cowboy play chess?
I don't know.
He was afraid he would lose his horse.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta give up your knight.
True.
Yeah. I prefer to sacrifice the bishops where possible.
Same.
Yeah.
Because knights are better in the end game. Why did
Definitely.
the chess kid...
Well, yes. Okay, sure. I would say yes. Knights are better in the end game,
I
usually.
agree. Why did the chess kid take a ladder to school? Because she wanted to go to high school. I think that's a drunk one.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, why did the chess kid coach, probably the same person, wear sunglasses at school? Because the students were so bright. I forgot about these before. Why are artists so bad at chess? Because they like to draw. You already had that one.
Well, that should make you good at chess.
What?
Shouldn't that make you good at chess?
True.
Oh, no, it makes you bad because if you draw, then you're not winning.
Okay,
sure.
so what?
Sure.
Oh, this is the best one. We saved the best for last. What did Arnold
Schwarzenegger? Yeah, Schwarzenegger.
say at the start of the chess game?
Wait, so say it again, Brent, say, what did Arnold Schwarzenegger...
What did Arnold Schwarzenegger say at the start of the chess game?
Problem is, I know very little about that guy, so
I'll be black.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. This one.
Play on what?
Chess.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Yep.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed today's show about chess with my friend Josh. I hope I've inspired you to think of chess not just as a strategy game, but as a reflection of the story of mankind. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you are looking forward to future podcasts where I'll be discussing a variety of topics such as martial arts, astronomy, video games, autism, fictional YouTube characters, TV and movie reviews, and much more. Thank you for coming, Josh. I really appreciate you finally were able to do this.
Yeah, I really had fun and enjoyed this. And,
Even if we screwed up a few times.
By the way, if you guys like this chess set, I 3D print them myself, so go check out cornertactics.com.
So, do you have any final words to say, Josh?
I would say get your pawn to the end a little bit more, because even if it's just one or two moves, people think the pawn doesn't matter. Moving it one or two moves isn't going to make that much of a difference. But you have a pawn that's like halfway down the row, that can be infinitely important in the end game. Like that can win you an end game. You put a lot of pressure to make him have to come back and take out that pawn. He can't do anything else on the board. So yeah, that's my last word.
Okay, so speaking of which, my last word was going to be don't jump into conclusions. Like, don't make a move right off the bat, because you can't take it back right afterward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So definitely think through your moves, look through all the different possibilities, and sometimes they even miss your mistakes, which is good. But yeah.
All right. This is Josh and Brent signing off. Check and
mate.
Bye.